Badge number.
Well, I hope it is.
Let's
take a photograph of it, please.
Yeah. Just wondering. I've got to prove it. Obviously, I don't know you from Adam. You could be someone just who's
Well, we're not going to do this for fancy dress, are we? Right. As my colleague explained, the reason why we stopped you is because you fit the description of somebody acting suspiciously. Right? Now, you've given a legitimate reason why you're here.
Yeah.
Right. But we need to see some ID and some proof that you are here legitimately.
No, I understand that.
Can I see that, please?
I understand that, but on another term, I have actually got human rights.
Is that your vehicle there?
Nope.
Okay. So, what form of identification have you got on you to say you're actually canvassing?
I've got ID on me, but I don't have to legally show it here because I've not committed a crime.
Right.
Obviously,
we've had a phone call about suspicious mail, so we need to ascertain whether you say you are, but I take it you're not going to give us your name.
I get this every week.
Verify. Yeah, but you got to appreciate we get calls from members.
No, I understand that, but I'm doing a job. I'm paying me taxes. I'm earning money. Yeah. I mean, I don't understand. I have not committed a crime.
If you were calling us, surely you'd want us to follow it up, wouldn't you? That's why we've been sent here, to follow it up. We want to be rest assured when we leave here today that you're not up to anything suspicious.
Suspicion that stems only from a vague phone call, without any tangible evidence of wrongdoing, cannot justify detaining or demanding identification from someone. The officer's claim that he needed to confirm who the person was is troubling, especially since the individual never attempted to hide or misrepresent his identity. The auditor was simply exercising a lawful right to remain anonymous in the absence of reasonable suspicion tied to a specific offense. Under UK law, that standard is crystal clear. You are under no obligation to present ID unless you are being lawfully detained on established grounds, such as suspicion of a criminal act. None of those conditions were met here. Relying on a third-party report to justify a stop or ID check opens the door to arbitrary profiling and potential abuse of power, which undermines public trust and erodes the principles of fair policing.
I understand it in that way, but I'm not...
Your name gives you ID, we could ring SafeStar, say, and confirm...
Well, you can ring SafeStar and you can ask them if, obviously, if you've got canvases in this area and they'll validate who I am.
And what's your name?
Obviously, I'm not giving it out.
Well, when I ring up SafeStar UK and say you've got canvases and they say
they know I'm in this office, they know I'm around here. Because we get issued to a certain area and they keep both names of the people.
So where's your ID card?
It is on me, but I don't have to show it. I've not committed a crime.
We're going round in circles here, aren't we, chap?
No, I don't mean human rights, mate. I've not committed a crime. Obviously, you're putting me under alarm and distress now. You both cover it going round me. Obviously, you're trying to say that I have to show my ID.
You're putting me under alarm and distress.
How am I?
You are ID. We've shown you our ID. So
yeah, but at the end of the day, you're a public servant.
Rather than recognizing the auditor was within his legal rights to refuse providing ID without suspicion of crime, the officers chose to pressure him further, even accusing him of causing harassment, alarm, and distress. That claim is not only ironic, it's deeply concerning. How can uniformed, trained officers allege distress simply because a citizen calmly stands by the law? One even tried to defend their behavior by saying, "We've shown you our ID," as though that somehow justified demanding his in return. But the issue isn't about mutual exchange. It's about legality and authority. Their insistence on personal details without lawful grounds flips the situation entirely, positioning themselves as victims when in truth they were the ones escalating the tension. It reveals a failure of training and an abuse of power, where officers confuse compliance with respect and treat lawful resistance as defiance.
Listen, chap, I may be a public servant, but I'm not your servant.
No, I didn't say you were my servant, did I?
Okay.
I said, but if you're walking around with a police uniform which gives you powers...
Stop going on about YouTube. It's like this public servant, okay? I'm not a servant. I'm a police officer.
Yeah.
Okay?
Which means, but you serve the public.
I'm a police officer.
Right.
Okay. Police officer. I'm not a servant.
Yeah.
So let's get that quite clear before we start.
Well, there's no need to get angry, is there?
When the officer stated, "I might be a public servant, but I'm not your servant," it exposed an alarming sense of ego and detachment from the core principle of public service. Policing in a democratic society is founded on the idea of serving the community, not commanding it. His refusal to see himself as a servant of the public reveals an inflated view of authority and a misunderstanding of what his badge truly represents. The comment came after prolonged pressure and dismissive behavior toward a citizen who had done nothing wrong, turning a lawful encounter into a display of dominance. The tone, laced with condescension, made it clear that this wasn't about enforcing the law. It was about maintaining control. For the auditor, hearing those words after being wrongfully challenged only amplified the distress and intimidation he already faced. It's a moment that perfectly illustrates how power, when unchecked, can morph into arrogance.
What, you feel threatened?
Yeah, hence why I'm recording it, just in case anybody's trying anything cheeky.
That's fine.
I've had it before where police has thrown me on the floor for asking him, have you got ID?
So police officers thrown you on the floor?
Yeah.
And that's what I do.
I've asked for him.
Very strange.
Well, not all coppers are legitimate, are they? Not all coppers are nice. So at this moment in time, am I detained?
That's right.
What for? What am I being detained for? Have I committed a criminal offence? I've not committed a criminal offence. How can you detain me? Because then you're holding me hostage. You're now restricting my free way of movement because now you're saying I'm being detained for a crime I've not committed. I will just literally. I'll send this to me my lawyer, mate. This is going straight to my lawyer.
First things first, you're recording it.
Yeah.
Has it just picked up the word that you just said to me?
Yeah.
Right. This is your first and last warning. You swear at me again, you'll be arrested. Do you understand me?
Yeah, but I'm asking why am I being detained?
Listen to me. Are you going to listen?
I'll listen, but I want you to listen to my point of view.
Detained at this moment in time.
Yeah.
So we can speak to the caller.
Yeah.
Because as I said, you fit the description of a person seen acting suspiciously.
Yeah.
Right? Now, until we speak to the caller and fathom out what the caller says to us, you're not going anywhere.
Right, so you're detaining me against my own will from a crime that I've not committed.
What happened next was a blatant misuse of police authority. Detaining someone on the basis of a vague description or a casual report without any concrete link to a crime completely violates the standards of lawful policing. The officer openly admitted that the detention was based purely on what a caller had said, choosing to hold the auditor until they could figure things out. But that's not how the law functions. Under the Police and Criminal Evidence Act PACE, an officer must have reasonable, objective grounds before restricting someone's freedom. Acting on a hunch or public rumor falls far short of that threshold. What we see here is the reversal of a core legal principle, treating a person as guilty until proven innocent. That's not public safety. That's overreach, and it risks turning routine encounters into civil rights violations.
Are you going to admit that now on camera, that you're detaining me when I've not committed an offence?
Till we speak to the caller.
Yeah.
See exactly what the caller says you have or haven't done.
Right, but technically you can't detain someone if they've not committed a crime, because then that's holding them against their own will.
Well, once we speak to the caller,
yeah, but now
the crime has been committed, then I will tell you what's going to happen next.
So you're actually admitting you've illegally detained me for a crime I've not committed?
We haven't illegally detained you.
Well, if you've not detained me, then I'm free to go.
Tell you what, walk up there and we'll follow you then if you need to speak to you again.
But then it's harassing.
Off you go.
But then it's harassing.
It's not harassing.
No, what I'm saying is, if you'd like to leave,
Right.
if you'd like to leave now and walk whichever way you like, carry on. And if I need to speak to you at a different time, I'll come after you and have a word with you.
The officer's next move only deepened the concern. Instead of acknowledging that the detention lacked legal foundation, he casually suggested, "How about you walk away and we'll follow you?" As if that solved the issue. In truth, that statement made things worse. Following someone without proper cause is a form of surveillance, and when it occurs after a citizen asserts their right to disengage, it becomes harassment. What the officer proposed was essentially an unofficial stop, a shadowing tactic designed to justify suspicion later rather than act on legal grounds now. This behavior turns lawful procedure into intimidation. If police lack the authority to detain, they cannot substitute that power with covert observation. It's policing by pressure, not principle, and it undermines public confidence in the very institution meant to protect people from precisely this kind of conduct.
I'll just put a complaint in. I'll just put a complaint into IPCC.
That's fine. That's fine.
Because obviously you're illegally detaining me for a crime I've not committed. So obviously, like I'm going to ask again, am I being detained for a crime? Because obviously now no one's answering. If I'm not being detained for a crime...
I'm just in process of speaking to your manager.
Right.
If you'd like to walk away, you are free to walk away. And if I'm detained as a crime, I will come after you, won't I? It's up to you, sir.
I'm not going to turn me back. I'm not going to turn me back on officers so you can body slam me.
Do what you'd like. I don't think I'm capable of body
Hey, there's police out there that body slam people for the fun of it.
when he's asking for an officer's ID.
So you've illegally detained me, you call me a liar.
It's on camera. Accused you of calling him a liar.
Yeah, but now you've also legally detained me. So wait until IPC.
Why are we going around in circles? Twice I've said, if you'd like to walk away, walk away.
Well, just for the camera, have I been committed as a crime?
Black trousers,
I'm
black
ascertain
trousers.
at the moment.
Right, so I've not committed a crime, so...
Safe style UK.
Well, you've given me permission to walk away. I'm not, mate. I'm not, mate. Now you're making lies about me. You've also illegally detained me, like I said before, when he says you're now detained. What for what crime? He couldn't give me a crime. So he's legally detained me on the spot. He's also kept me hostage. So I do know my rights, and this will be going to IPCC. I will be sent it to Milan. I'll wait until it's all over line. I don't need the log number. I've got your badge numbers. Because I don't trust it. I don't trust the fact I can walk away with you.
I've been showing us your ID in the first instance. I don't think it would have taken this long. So when you're talking about being...
Yeah, but I don't have to show my ID if I've not committed a crime or I'm on suspicion of crime. I've not committed a crime. I'm working.
The officers remarked that the entire situation could have been avoided if the auditor had simply identified himself highlights a deeply flawed attitude toward public accountability. It shifts responsibility away from the officer's unlawful behavior and onto the citizen who asserted his rights. The auditor hadn't broken any laws, made his intentions clear, and articulated his legal position calmly. Yet, instead of respecting that, the officers interpreted his refusal as provocation. What this really exposes is an ego-driven mindset where authority is treated as something to be obeyed rather than questioned. When officers equate noncompliance with guilt, they blur the line between lawful policing and coercion. It's a dangerous mentality, one that encourages escalation over restraint and punishment over dialogue, and it damages a trust that effective policing depends on.
If working's committing a crime, I'll just go and join benefits.
You could have last time you were working 10 minutes ago and you could have gone on your way then, couldn't you? So
we'll have to go so we don't have body
take the
slamming.
log.
Sorry, don't body slamming.
Before you get that urge.
Yeah. Okay. So, it's right service. Free to go, Sam?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to leave.
I took them to a criminal court and a civil court. At the criminal court, I was awarded £35,000 because of the incorrect ways and the way they did the jobs, which was performed illegally. Officer Stephen Haynes, PC Jarvis and PC Warwick. One of them was suspended for 2 months with further investigation. One of them was fired, and the other one was given a slap on the wrist and was allowed to still do the job, but under investigation by their own force.
The £35,000 compensation awarded in this case says everything about the gravity of the officer's misconduct. This wasn't a small error or a misunderstanding. It was a serious breach of civil rights that the court recognized and corrected. The disciplinary fallout was telling. One officer dismissed outright, another suspended, and a third placed under review. These aren't the consequences of minor mistakes. They reflect systemic failure driven by arrogance and ignorance of the law. From the outset, the officers operated on pure assumption, treating a vague report as justification for aggressive demands. Instead of investigating properly, they defaulted to confrontation, detaining the auditor unlawfully and escalating the situation when challenged. The male officer's declaration that he wasn't a servant revealed a dangerous mindset of superiority, while his colleague's suggestion that things would have gone smoother if the auditor had just complied showed how little they valued individual rights. This wasn't policing. It was coercion disguised as procedure. When the courts intervened, justice was served not just financially, but symbolically, reaffirming that no badge stands above the law. For the public, it's a powerful lesson. Remain calm, know your rights, and document everything. Accountability is not confrontation. It's protection. The auditor's resolve turned what could have been another forgotten misuse of power into a meaningful victory for transparency and lawful policing.